the fire pits.
The thing we've never really figured out.
No, we didn't.
If you had stepped within 5 feet of a single fire pit, you would have triggered an encounter. From each pit, they're called hell hyenas. Each fire pit would have spawned a hell hyena.
So it's 4 immediately.
4 immediately. Killing one of them would temporarily cause the fire pit to flare up, and another one would spawn. And another one would spawn. And another one would spawn.
Oh no.
They're not as strong as hellhounds, about half strength.
But they're constant.
Yes. If you, however, had sort of managed to put the fire pits out, that would have stunned the hyena and prevented more from spawning.
Okay.
Putting out all of the fire pits, then killing the hyenas, would have ended the encounter.
Interesting.
Or we don't
I'm happy
remember
with
that.
Or we go around. Thanks, Gak.
The original intent for the Displacer Beast was to stalk you guys throughout most of the dungeon. If you had left any one of you behind, which you faked doing, it would attack. So you accidentally stumbled upon the trigger.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
And with nice setup, you mostly nullified its offensive and defensive mechanisms. So good on you. Yeah. Well played.
That was entirely on O. Like I planned the atomic, I don't remember what it's called, like destabilizer.
Yeah.
That's it.
It made a massive difference there. That would have actually been a pretty decent fight.
Thanks to your efforts in the Sanctum, which is what it is, Alia will be able to finish her reclamation project on time in spite of being handed a very narrow time window to do it with.
Aw.
Nice.
I mean, we just unlocked a friggin' treasure trove.
Potentially.
We couldn't just go back down.
Yeah. It's basically free loot.
Wait.
What was the idea of it being a bank? Was that like legit or?
Oh yeah, what was that entire structure?
That was the wages paid to the masons built to construct the place.
Right. So they just hid them.
Originally, it was designed to mimic a tomb, and the traps were designed to dissuade or kill or maim would-be robbers.
Dope,
Right.
dope, dope.
And
It definitely had that tomb.
And the remains you found at the very entrance of this complex were the masons who built it and who had been compelled to sort of wall themselves in. What you entered through was a ventilation shaft.
Interesting.
What was down the left path?
It's circle.
Oh, okay. Right, yes. No, I remember that.
Because they walled themselves in.
It was really cool being in this dungeon.
The hexagonal disc presented to you, if you had inspected it with detect magic, you would have seen symbols, and it would reveal arcane runes that would indicate some sort of key mechanism, similar to those used in the knock spell. Similar in the sense that a cat is similar to a lion.
Same genus, but completely different.
A mega key. In retrospect, I don't know why we didn't bother examining it.
Yeah, really. We just kind of didn't think that one through.
The mural depicts the early events of the early records of the young Terashi period, as in before the later one. And this is a previously undocumented aspect of Terashi history.
Ooh, that's valuable information.
Which Fizzle totally recorded down.
Oh yes, he did. He will be getting a what's the word? When a professor has a position for life.
A tenure?
Tenure.
Tenure. He will be getting tenure for that.
Our dissertation to put out too.
Yes. And funding.
Oof. Maybe he could stop being an otter now.
Would he want to is the question?
No, probably not.
Upload the last one first. Yeah, sure.
Additionally, the events that you saw in the innermost sanctum were the consequences of the first cataclysm.
Elaborate.
So in the first mural, you saw humans attempting to perform some sort of ritual on the dragon.
Right.
When humanity first rose to being civilized, as in constructing a civilization for themselves, they began encroaching on the territory of what's called a true dragon. And these are the size of a gigantic building. And
right, you mentioned dragons the size of like monasteries and the like.
Precisely.
Oof.
Eventually, humans, being a warlike bunch and a creative bunch, started overestimating their ability and attacked these dragons.
Hell yeah.
They were hunted to the brink of extinction. That's the flaming forest you saw. That is the first cataclysm. They went underground and waited out the dragons, because these dragons are so large and consume so much energy that there isn't enough, even with pulling from the dimension of magic, there isn't enough energy to sustain them perpetually. So they must go into hibernation every so often. And these hibernation cycles are very long, millennia long. In this millennia, human civilization escaped from the cave, from the underground, built a civilization, created the circumstances necessary for the second apocalypse, which was thought to be the first.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was triggered by humanity waging war on itself, abusing magic to the full extent it can be abused. Imagine nuclear winter with magic. And it has left,
what a fun idea.
And it has left lingering consequences even in modern day. Like the floating islands in the sky, that is a consequence of that war. That is actually
my origin.
You saw in the mural the circle exploding, the Archon circle exploding.
Yeah.
The region in which it exploded released so much magic that the scattered earth was lifted into the sky and held there permanently.
Fascinating.
So the monasteries are basically sitting on a... Oh.
Sitting on a what?
Mm-hmm.
Magical Chernobyl.
Yes. That is one of the reasons why Jade is so good at absorbing magic.
Makes sense. Interesting.
What does that claymore do? Is it cursed?
It's a holy avenger.
Oh, okay.
Holy indeed.
Useless to me, but I could probably sell it.
Don't sell it! It belongs in a museum!
Yeah, and the museum can buy it from me.
Or you might get assassinated for it.
Or that. Actually, if you could find like a worthy place, then they'd probably just give it to him.
My original thought for the sanctum/tomb was to have you guys walk through about 1,000 years of history.
I think it very much accomplished that. Personally.
Yeah.
I don't think Damien is the sort to care for history, though, so never picked it up.
Sucks for him.
It'll get put out there now. Information will get disseminated. And subsequently hidden away.
I feel like there was just a lot more information we could have dug around.
Probably.
But it's also like an ungodly time for you right now.
That's... Oh, I want to ask. What would have happened if we opened fish?
Can you repeat that?
What would have happened if we opened the fish chest The stone chest.
Oh yeah.
Electrocution.
How much?
Too much.
Too much. Yeah, that's a good answer. Unsightly numbers.
Very high number.
Probably not enough to kill you in one go.
The
That
brother
being said-
opens it.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd probably be fine because I could just like dodge the shit out of it. But
Same. Oof.
I realized halfway through the final fight that you gave them like the wild's magic for sorcerer. You just had it like
Yes.
whenever they fucking hit. They
Oh, is
just
that what
do
that was?
Yes,
That was, yes.
that was beautiful.
Whenever the way I designed him was at 180 hit points, AC of 15. The only action this guy can take is a firebolt cantrip at level 5.
Okay.
He can bonus action teleport at will, like a Misty Step type portal teleport.
Right.
And whenever he attacks or is attacked, you roll a wild magic surge.
Oof.
Because you knocked so much health off of him with that one critical hit, you brought him below 50% at one point, which triggered the
bonus.
burst of arcane energy, which is a Eldritch Blast, a single beam of Eldritch Blast aimed at every creature in the room.
Oh.
I thought that was based on the table you rolled.
I know. That was a separate mechanic. And oh yes, the reason why the con saves sucked. He has a +2 con mod. And the reason for that is that he is deceased by a very specific disease. Which Fizzle would have been able to figure out perhaps over time if we carried on playing. So that's something I'll sit on for now. But
Time to go back in the Ruin Plague Edition.
Maybe. The answers, some of the answers are in there in the texts, if you can find a way to read them.
Ha! Ha! David's not touching that evil shit.
Does he think his
Shit's
monster is
cursed.
just evil?
Well, he hates them with a passion.
All
So,
right.
yes, he thinks they're evil. Yeah, this is going to be a scene Damien does of... the dialogue for it, but he's just going to try to put his blade over him. He's like, if you want to kill me, I'll accept it. Like, I get it.
Aw. Death or dishonor.
Mission accomplished for Damien.
And he might
He's
die
saved.
anyways.
Might. I don't know. It's up to Lind. You wouldn't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I left a note for her too.
Last thing. The I can tell you now because it doesn't matter anymore. The person who is engaged, I would say, I guess the word is, yeah.
Engaged,
To
yeah.
Alia is Enan Leharas,
Right.
who is the heir apparent to the Laharas household, one of the most powerful noble families in the entire capital.
Dang.
For two reasons. Her grandmother, who is the current matron, serves in the imperial court and is a confidant of the empress. And on herself is a trusted confidant of Ambrose, the war mage of the College of Magi. Imagine the archmage being sort of like I guess a president would be an analogy for it. He can veto and stuff like that. And the war mage is sort of the counterbalance to that position.
Right.
The equivalent to then would be like the Supreme Judge Justice or something. Supreme Court Judge Justice.
In a sense, Ishal, the archmage, only has power to determine things internally.
Right.
Anything to do with the college's relation to anything outside of the college is Ambrose's domain.
Oh, okay.
How did they meet?
Don't you know all powerful people know each other?
Checks out.
Inon has quite a knack for old magic, so she is sometimes sent to restore the disc system in reclaimed areas. That's how they met.
Mm-hmm.
If they had not met, that assassination attempt would have probably not been the last one.
Fun times.
An angle for another one shot, perhaps.
Possiblement.
Later, way far.
Just
Or
really
next
quickly,
week.
it was really fun, but I'm going to bed.
Night.
Understandable.
Yes.
Good
So am I.
night.
Thanks for playing, Dragona.
Have
It
a
was
night,
great.
Gianna. What are you yawning for?
It's like
And
7.
a thank you to the two of you as well.
Yeah, thanks for
No
doing
problem. It's super
that.
fun. Good job DMing. Fantastic world.
Super thought out. Where did
Well,
the
it better
statue
be.
come from? Like, what purpose did the
Don't-
statue serve?
Don't fucking worry about the
Which
statue,
one?
dude.
The big one, the giant room one.
Oh, that.
It feels kind of out of place, personally. But
Well,
bet
there were
there's
deformed humanoids, so
reason.
I'm not sure if they've got 10 arms.
What did I call that one again?
Timothy.
No, it is. It ties into the plague, the disease.
Right.
I have it in my lore notes somewhere. I can talk about that some other time.
Sure. What you should
It
do
is late
go
for
to
you.
sleep.
It is late.
I think
We
at
can
this
always
point
shoot the
it
shits
hits
later.
early. At this point, I think it just hits. It's early instead of it's late now.
Yeah.
On that note, good night.
Night.
Have a good night, Fred. Thank you for jamming today.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Super.
My leg.
My leg.
My leg. Where did the screaming thing come from? That was